Welcome back to the Talking Hedge. I'm Josh Kincaid, capital markets analyst and host of your Cannabis Business Podcast. Today, we're going to take a look at some sales reports from Hedge on a few different markets, being California, Colorado, Nevada, Washington, Alberta, British Columbia, Illinois, Massachusetts, and Oregon. So to kick this off, we're going to look at total sales in California increasing in September over August by a rate of almost 3.5%. But nonetheless, if you look at it, it is trending quite nicely. So during lockdown, people are still going out and buying those products. Obviously, Colorado, maybe a little bit of a faster rebound. So at almost 12% clip, for total sales month over month, looking like they're rebounding a lot faster. Maybe that's something to do with faster tourism. Not really sure if you're from the Colorado area. Let me know. Nevada, relatively flat. So yes, 10% increase or 9.6% increase month over month from September. But it does look like it's rebounding with that peak, with that trough being in May and rebounding since then. Washington has a kind of step pattern. So we kind of step up and then level out and then step up again. But nonetheless, it is incredibly consistent and never has relied on tourism. So with Washington, just 3.5% increase. Like I said, it's just, really stable, really flat. So looking at our Northern Canadian counterparts and then some new entrants into the market, Alberta, almost 3% increase, relatively flat. Just looking at the last couple of months for these figures here. British Columbia, almost 15%, nice little pop. Illinois, they're still new to the rec scene, so they're going to see 10% and should be seeing actually more than that. But with disposable income and people without a job, obviously is difficult. Massachusetts seeing a nice little 10% pop, and then Oregon almost 20%. So Oregon's pulling it out. So looking at year over year sales growth, looks like California saw a decent increase, 27% from September versus last year. But again, looking at the graph here, sales are down significantly, in some cases 50% from where they were before the pandemic started. Colorado, they're up 38% in September versus last year. But again, some of their numbers are looking pretty depleted as well due to the lack of tourism, but nothing like Nevada, even though they have an 11% increase for year over year sales in the month of September. Their tourism was terrible. They saw almost a 25% decline. And Washington, one of the most stable markets during this pandemic, to my surprise, 22% increase year over year. Looks like they had a nice little pop in August, which is kind of normal with the help of Hemp Fest normally, although that's going to be online in October. So if you haven't heard about it, Hemp Fest will be online in just about a month. Year over year sales for Alberta, 92%. But again, the 2.0 for concentrates and vape and edibles and everything just kind of came out in December. So of course, they're going to have a lot more product and therefore a lot more sales. Almost 200% increase in British Columbia, 191% to be exact. Illinois, another new regulated rollout, 306% increase. Massachusetts, same thing, 62% increase. And then our friends down south in Oregon doing 40% year over year sales growth. Average basket size is a decent indicator, kind of gives us an idea of how much people are spending on average when they go in. And so again, disposable income being down because of loss of jobs and maybe a shift in preferences from top shelf to whatever they can afford, maybe going for bulk instead of just quality. Not really sure. Let me know how you guys have changed your preference. I know I've gone more towards bulk and not towards the high item prices like I would normally splurge before. So looking at average item basket size, it is down from September over August by 2.3% in California, 2.6% in Colorado, but it's up in Nevada. So take a look at that. Maybe that's because there's more people. Again, I'm not really sure. Maybe they're coming back, but that 199 or almost 2% is really just about $1.50. So not a huge change at all. Same thing with Washington. They're down 1.5%, but again, that's just pennies. So Alberta's relatively flat. British Columbia is up 5%. Illinois down 3.8%. Massachusetts, their average basket item is down. And so is Colorado's. So again, maybe with the new regulated rollout in Canada, Illinois, and Massachusetts, people are they've ceased to go out and buy just to buy. So the novelty is wearing off, and now they're choosing what they want, and so maybe reducing just by a little bit, reducing what they're buying. Another good indicator for how often or how much people are buying is a count of baskets. So 4.9% in California, that's an increase of 5%. Colorado saw an increase of 3%. Nevada relatively flat. Washington is up 3.6%. Not a whole lot of data in Canada. Looks like it's still relatively flat. Same with Illinois and Massachusetts, and an increase of 2.4% for Oregon. So interesting that it looks like maybe the count of baskets is increasing, but the amount that they're spending is decreasing. So when you look at average baskets, how much they're spending is going down in Oregon, but the number of times they're buying is going up. So that's telling me that the frequency is increasing, but the purchase amount is decreasing in regions like Oregon. Brand concentration has been kind of a fascinating indicator to look at as it's decreasing in many of the regions. Brand concentration is at 26%, and that's a reduction from last month in California. Colorado is relatively flat, 21%. So between Colorado and Oregon, they're sharing kind of the same low amount of concentration, which is, I think, is a good thing, versus Nevada, where it's 32%, and Alberta at 43%. So you do want to have more products out there. You don't want to be too concentrated. If there was only one brand in the market, that wouldn't be good for anybody. So Washington, 25%, and that's trending going down in Nevada and Washington and California. Colorado looks like it's going back up. So that's interesting that the consolidation kind of peaked in May and is now going back up. So that could be an indicator of some businesses not really selling as much, maybe having to pivot out of a product or SKU that's not selling, and then increasing the market share for everyone else or these leaders in this segment. So again, not much information on the Canadian market. We'll have to wait for another month to roll out before we can get some information. Same with Illinois and Massachusetts, and Oregon is relatively flat, so nothing moving on there. But for more information, come back to the Talking Hedge. With that, we're going to roll this one up. I'm Josh Kincaid. This is the Talking Hedge. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, or don't, and I'm out. Don't forget to smash that like button on your way out and check out these other videos that we've got.